Even though I'm still in Lille, in France, and not back home yet, I wanted to do a little video of my Amalfi Coast sketchbook before I forget the details of it and what I want to say about it. And this is all done on Arches paper, which I cut in small pieces. And my first sketch was in Pontone, right before dinner. There's a little bar in the piazza. And most of these sketches are done with the same technique. This is in Atrani, again from the bar in the piazza. I sketch a lot from a bar while having coffee or after having coffee. And this is the church of San Salvatore. And as you can see, the technique is pretty much the same in all these. And that is, I do a slight, very light sketch with a pencil. Then, I'm not crazy about this one. Then I go over it with pen, and I use a Safari Lamy fountain pen that I use with Noodler's ink, which is Lexington Gray. But I'm not sure, this looks darker than Noodler's Lexington Gray, so it could be that I packed something else and forgot to mark it. This one's a little different because it doesn't have pen, and it's a technique that I'll use more and more later, especially in France. When we sketched this one from the bar across the piazza, it was raining. It was like a horrible downpour, so we took refuge there and I sketched. This is included along with this one in a little video I did of a day trip to Ravello, which is above the Amalfi Coast. And this was really fun, and I had a little boy from China crouched next to me the entire time. He was so patient. He must not have been older than 6. This is a Saracen Tower on the coast that has been turned into a fancy hotel. So here there's a pool with a umbrella, which is actually blue, but I thought red would look better. And this is Santa Maria Magdalena, the patron saint of Atrani, the small town on the Amalfi Coast where we stay, near Amalfi. And I did this also on the day trip to Ravello from steps, from some of the thousands of steps that one must go down. This is in Amalfi, and it's not a great scene and it's not a great sketch, but I'm very fond of it because I just decided to drop some yellow into the brown and into the green, and look what nice light it gave the sketch. So that's why I'm fond of this one. Here we took another day trip to another town. Again, these were all done on foot. This is in Minori, and it was a Friday and there was a wedding, and it's a basilica church of a saint that I never heard of before, Trofimena, and it has a bell tower similar to the one in Atrani. And this is the next town, Maiori, that you get to through a beautiful path called the Path of the Lemons, Il Sentiero dei Limoni. Again, a similar church with a similar bell tower. And then we took the ferry back. We walked all the way to Maiori, and then we took the ferry back. So while we waited for the ferry, I made a little sketch of the ferry landing. Here is the only time that I used a different ink. It's a sepia ink on my platinum pen, which is a much thinner nib fountain pen. And here was in Amalfi after coffee. I like this scene. It was kind of far in the distance from the main piazza. This one I have a video that I did of the sketch. It's long. I'm gonna try and get the whole thing here because it was a long scene and the sketchbook is small. So this is from the terrace of our apartment, and you have a Saracen Tower, a medieval church, and then some houses. Same technique. Back in Pontone, this is a cute church that I sketched from the steps in front of it. Back in Atrani, the huge anchor is a monument in honor of the many fishermen of the area, and again it's that Saracen Tower in the background. This is a shop where we buy all our food. It's always a riot to go in there. Mimi and Coco, They have the best mozzarella. Here we were in Positano at the end of the hike of the Path of the Gods, of which there is a sketch later, but I wanted to keep this vertical. And Positano is very famous, probably the most famous town on the Amalfi Coast, but I don't like it. It's way too crowded. And this is the path of from the Path of the Gods. We took a little break and I did a sketch of the islands. You see the island of the Galli, and back here is Capri, the island of Capri. This one I have a video that I posted on my YouTube channel painting this. I'm very fond of these lights. Actually, no, the video is not of this. First I did this, then I wanted one featuring the lights, and it's this one. I did this later. I think this is a better one for the lights. I like how the base kind of ends here and you have the outline of that dragon. And to go back to Atrani again, one of the many steps with the houses there, and this is the trattoria in Pontone that we like to go to. This one I just showed you, and this is an attempt at the gorgeous campanile of the Cathedral of Amalfi. This is from Atrani. Again, it's the same church you've already seen, Santa Maria Magdalena, but a different perspective. In this, we went back to Ravello one day, and I sketched the Duomo of Ravello, the main church up there. Again, this one I also have a video on my YouTube, and even though there's still a little bit of ink, there's very little of it, and I was transitioning towards a less ink-based style of sketching, which I embraced fully in Lille after a few days. This is Villa Cimbrone in Ravello, absolutely stunning. I'm kind of happy with this. It's different. There was a reproduction of a statue found in Pompeii. We actually saw the original in Naples a few years ago with the kids. It's a faun, and this they call the tea pavilion. Can you imagine having tea in there? I would just love that. Again, the same villa, the same park. I'm not sure what's in there, maybe a hotel, I don't know. And this is a view of interestingly shaped, like an onion dome, onion-shaped dome as in Russia, but this is actually in Amalfi, and you can see this small church from the cathedral steps. This one I'm not happy with. I'm not going to talk about it. This is just a quick sketch. Once I've already sketched many things from this perspective because we kept going to the same bar. So I just put in an umbrella of a different color. The last night we're on the Amalfi Coast. I sketched this. It was a boat that was anchored there. I thought it would be very nice to go on a ride in it. And this finally is from the hotel in Naples where we spent one night before going to France. They gave us a free upgrade into a room with a little balcony that faced the Bay of Naples and the Mount Vesuvius. So I was delighted to be able to sketch there. And this is my Amalfi Coast sketchbook. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions about this, about the place, about the techniques, I'm always happy to talk about sketching and to talk about the Amalfi Coast. Thank you for watching. Bye.